What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and this is a pretty rough story from over the weekend, but I think it's important to cover. It's important to remember some levels of humanity, as some of the replies are just out of control about this. But Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, and or recently former CEO of YouTube, her son OD'd, it looks like, over the weekend in UC Berkeley. But I think this opens up a bigger conversation, I'm hoping, because if you've been paying attention, this is a major problem across the United States. And stuff like this only seems to get fixed when it affects a politician's child or an extremely rich person's child. Then suddenly everyone's going to care about it. If you look at what's happening in Berkeley, California, which has been happening in Berkeley, California, San Francisco, Portland, Philadelphia, Seattle, all these, Chicago, there is a major pill problem. Kansas City, remember those Chiefs fans that just happened to fall asleep outside in sub-zero temperatures? They were all taking, or willingly or unwilling, knowingly or unknowingly, fentanyl. Whether it was something, it was laced with this, that. People are dying thousands a day from this crap, and our government doesn't seem to care. It's extremely frustrating. You see it in the small towns. You see it basically everywhere. Kids on playgrounds, all this kind of stuff, and it's wild. The 19-year-old kid of Susan Wojcicki found, looks like he OD'd. He definitely took something and he didn't survive it. Marco Trooper, a freshman at UC Berkeley, was found unresponsive. The math major's grandmother, Esther Wojcicki, suggested that he might have succumbed to an OD after confirming his passing and identity. Now, I don't know why his own mother wasn't doing that. That's another question. But Esther told San Francisco Gate that he took something, and we don't know what was in it. I'm sure it's going to come out, and it's going to be fentanyl. But, our president doesn't care about this. It's, millions of pills are flowing over the southern border. Nobody cares. One thing we do know is it was a drug. UC Berkeley spokesperson Janet Gilmore said there were no signs of foul play, but did not say whether Trooper did OD. Trust me, he OD'd. Okay, yes, that can only be my opinion, but any idiot can look at the details here and know that's what happened. Berkeley Fire Department notified UCPD that they were attempting life-saving measures on a victim. That UCPD responded that the Berkeley Fire Department was unable to revive them. In a heartbreaking social media point, Esther, again, why not his own mother? I suppose she's probably grieving. Confirmed the identity of the college student who had just started his second semester of his freshman year. Tragedy hit my family. My beloved grandson, Marco Trooper, age 19, passed away. Our family's devastated beyond comprehension, the grieving grandmother wrote. Here's the thing about drugs, is they often don't care about, your financial background or, just like mental health. I mean, they can get a hold of you regardless. I mean, I was just watching a guy who was in the Jackass series. I think his name is Poopies. He was telling a story about how somebody sold him a bag of stuff, thought it was coke, did a quick key bump, and he died. Now, they were able to revive him with, I think, Narcan or whatever. But I mean, it's like he didn't know what was in it. He wasn't told what it was. He took it anyway. I don't really understand why dealers would want to deal in a product that ends their customers. But hey, I mean, cigarette companies are still around, I suppose. I think that, was interesting is, this looks like a good kid. Again, I don't know. But the way people are reacting to it is obviously vile, many of them. As an athletic kid. The family was awaiting toxicology report to determine the cause of passing, but Esther said it seemed to be an accidental OD. I'm sure it was fentanyl. I mean, there's no question in my mind. Now, suddenly, you wonder if, they're going to start giving a damn about this thing that's killing people by the, truckload in every major city in America. His mother, former CEO of YouTube and one of Google's oldest employees, stepped down from her leadership position to focus on family. Well, that didn't work out. Susan wrote in a blog post last February, I've decided to step back from my role as the head of YouTube and start a new chapter focused on my family. health and personal projects I'm passionate about. Now, I suspect maybe that means they knew the kid was, maybe the kid was struggling. She was trying to, I don't know. I can only make a guess, with Esther's hopes that Trooper Strategy can help educate people, prevent similar other. Quote, I think the most important thing is that teens and college students need to know the drugs are not the same today as they were yesterday. They're often laced with fentanyl, she said. So they even think that. So while they think what they're going to do, they look at the statistics nationwide. You can see that more people are dying of ODs than the lockdowns. Hey, based grandma. People, they shut the country down for the coof, right? They shut the country down for the coof. And here we have this powder flowing over our southern borders from China or wherever it's from. I don't know. And it's wasting our entire society away. I mean, I think Ben Shapiro just did like a trank tour or something like that in Philadelphia. It's wild. And I think like this is a problem that nobody wants to deal with. In 2021, there were 107,000 people that did not survive their ODs. 107,000. And that was in 2021. In 2023, that number was 112,000 per month. Call it 10,000 people per month ODing and dying from it. And this is a problem that Joe Biden doesn't want to address, that none of our leaders want to address. They want to send a bunch of money to Ukraine and Israel and Palestine and everywhere else, but they don't want to deal with this. Now, I know there's always been something killing off junkies forever, but it's never been like this, right? You used to have to go through many, 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 many steps to be, on heroin or something like that. Now you buy a sack of herb and it's got this crap in it and you die from it. You look in 2023, fentanyl ODs ravaged the U.S. and fueled a new culture war fight, which is, again, this shouldn't be a culture war fight. This should be an obvious humanitarian fight. But people politicize everything. When the history of this fentanyl crisis was written, 2023 may be remembered as the year Americans woke up to an unprecedented threat, scouring communities, a deepening cultural divide, and what to do about it. For the first time in U.S. histories, fatal ODs peaked 112,000, with young people and people of color hardest hit. I don't care what your excuse is for it, what your, whatever fuels. If you feel like this is a social justice issue, I don't care. Just, we need to, get this handled. We need to get somebody to care about these kids. We've had an entire community swept away. A harm reduction activist in North Carolina who says she still sometimes uses street opioids, including that. We do have fentanyl. That's dangerous. We have xylazine, that's the zombie trank stuff, I think, where people's legs are literally rotting off. We're worried about this crap, right? We don't want to do anything to fix it. Nobody wants to do anything to fix it because it's inconvenient. Nobody ever wants to help these people out, and they need it the most. Homeless people, addicts. These are just 120,000 who died. 112,000. I would suspect that you could probably double or triple that, the number of people that actually OD'd and survived or continue to be addicted to this physically, mentally, hopelessly. And we locked down the whole country for the coof, and nobody batted an eye. Of course, you get people like this. Bro, YouTube's ex-CEO Susan, her son, just OD'd, so sad. Shouldn't have started screwing over small creators. Maybe the suspects decided to take matters into their own hands. People generally are unhinged. I don't really, do you see this one? Knock, knock, who's there? Not your son. What? I mean, I can criticize all day for Susan Wojcicki for being a censorious, anti-First Amendment government stooge, but that is not why her kid OD'd. And to like dunk on them for that is just so terminally online. If you've ever known anybody who's dealt with addiction, and I have, and many of you have, it's not funny. It's not fun. And the life that they live is not something to poke fun at. It's not something to like dunk on them. I've got a puppy underneath my desk that sounds like they're chewing on something they shouldn't be. Hopefully it's not my power cable. All I can say is, just another of 100,000 that passed away. And hopefully, hopefully this actually, something actually happens, but it won't. It won't, because there's not enough money in it. It's the same reason they don't solve the homeless problem. We pour hundreds of millions of dollars into the homeless problem. If they solved it, where would all that money go? There's no financial incentive to solve homelessness. There is no financial incentive to solve drug addiction. The machine, the rehabs, all this stuff, the giant economy around this drug would collapse if they were to stop it. And that's why they never will. And that's the cold, hard truth about it.